Hi everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV Thursday night. That means it's time for the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. Well, the Super Rugby final is behind us now. Needless to say, Oracle's not on tonight's show after his bullish comments on the Jaguares last week. He certainly must have done Granny's pension and perhaps a little bit more over and above that. Plenty of funny gifts on Twitter. Unfortunately, with all the power failures today, I haven't been able to get any of them ready for the show. But yeah, Oracle, he certainly won't be. He certainly won't be joining us. And I credit to him though. He owed me a bit of money from both the Crusaders bet and some personal bets we took, and he settled it all in midweek. Tonight we're going to be talking Currie Cup. We've got the opening round of matches, 3 games to get our teeth stuck into from the betting perspective. We'll look at Currie Cup outright betting, and we'll also just touch on the Rugby Championship, see if there's been any betting movement since we spoke last week. But Currie Cup will be the main focus, and of course I've got 2 guys who are going to help me talk through that. If you are new to our channel, make sure you do go below, hit the subscribe button, and then I've also put some links there to the Good for the Game newsletter, which comes out on a Friday morning, as well as to our forum thread where rugby punters share their bets. But let's get straight into things and introduce the panel. And in his new house, which we discovered on the last show, was actually built by GG Gaming with all his winnings. It's Henrik Swart. How are you doing, Henrik?
Hi, Brent. I'm well, thanks. Yeah, I wish Gigi's that bookmaker just can't seem to win. We all have that bookmaker, and then other bookmakers it goes well, and until you get limited. So yeah, no, I wish but Gary's just playing around with that. He's saying, yeah, but I've been enjoying the new house, and I'm ready for the Currie Cup. I'm very excited for the Currie Cup. Currie Cup is always Currie Cup and the World Cup is the 2 tournaments I do the best in. So yeah, I'm very excited about the Currie Cup.
Yeah, Gary sort of alluded to the point as well that the Currie Cup tends to belong to the punters. Just a shout out to the guys in the live chat, Stephen Marks and Ruan Fari. Hi guys, good to have you with us there. Looking forward to talking some Currie Cup betting. And Couch, let's go across to you. You look tired, like a man who's been writing Tour de France previews, Currie Cup previews. You're working yourself to the bone, lad. One of these days you'll actually get a job.
No, Brent, I think I'm more looking like this after getting all the way to the semi-finals of the Cricket World Cup. So it's been a tiring affair. I just need Sunday to come and go already so that I can just check my final position there, I think.
Excellent. Well, Sean Nicholas says he's waiting on the live chat to hear which hooker you fancy going with this weekend. So we'll see if you have anything there. And guys, let's get into the Currie Cup. I just want to start off with a bit of a chat on the outright betting. And Henrik, let me go straight to you. We did talk a bit of Currie Cup last week. I know you've gone for some fairly big prices. I think they were. Am I right in saying they were at Hollywood?
Yes.
I mean, you got, and I followed you. I must say, I'm going to actually open the forum thread and just have a look at it while you're talking there. But it was big prices, like 25 to 1 Griquas, if I'm not mistaken. They were generally 12 to 1.
Yeah. Brent, the thing is, there's 7 teams in the Currie Cup. I noted the comments on the Good for the Game thread, and Couch was one of the guys commenting, saying we were wasting our money. But there's 7 teams in the Currie Cup, and the 3 bottom prices, they're very big. The Free State at 14 to 1, Griquas at 25 to 1, and the Pumas at 50 to 1. Now that's long shots, and yeah, they are long shots, but you don't have to put on the house on that. You don't have to put on a lot of money, and the chances are that the top 4 teams will go to the semis. But yeah, you always have a chance with one of those bottom 3 creeping in. The Lions, their team doesn't look that strong this weekend. I won't be surprised if the Lions maybe miss the semis, and then you might have a 14 to 1 Free State in the semis, and I won't mind having a 14 to 1 shot in the semis. If you got a 14 to 1, you can easily trade on all 3 the other teams. So I think it's worthwhile backing those 3. And like I said, yeah, you don't have to put on too much.
Well, let's go across to Couch Critic, because Couch was very adamant in the forum. Tune into the show on Thursday night, and I'll tell you why these boys are wasting their money. Now, Couch, I do see you wrote your preview for Bet Olymp, which we published on the site today. I haven't had a chance with all the power failures and that. I really haven't. We've had no power since 10:30 this morning. I've had to come to my sister-in-law to do the show. So I haven't had a look at all of your logic yet, but where's your money going then in the Currie Cup? And, while you're at it, you may as well offend Henrik, because you've offended virtually anyone else who's either been on the show or has lived within a few thousand kilometers.
No, I think Henrik will know good and well that we're not offending each other. I mean, it's just my point of view on this one. I think the big thing, firstly, is that it's fine having a go at one of those long shots, but taking all three, it's you're making the odds a little bit smaller there. And I think you might rather, if you say to me you've got a good argument for Griquas, then great stuff, and take them at 25-1. I can understand that, or just take the cheetahs. But to take all three, I think you're just diluting the price there a little bit, and unnecessarily for me spreading it around. And as Hendrik said, you almost got to go with the approach of, okay, where are you going to go and slot in? So who's going to miss out? And that's my take on it. And I think Province and the Sharks are not going to miss out. I think those are quality squads. And, you almost look at the fact that you think Griquas and the Pumas are settled teams. They've come through a tournament and they're going to be able to take these guys on who have lost the guys who go to Japan, lost the guys who've taken other international deals, and, of course, the Springboks. But, yeah, I've looked at those squads, and it is quality squads there. Loads of, I think the big thing is, the net has been spread very wide by the local coaches, that a lot of them have gotten Super Rugby game time. I mean, the Stormers have used a lot of Ernst van Ryn and those kind of guys. Chris Massain even got his run. Johan de Toy, those kind of guys. So they've all now had a taste, and they've all been involved in Super Rugby. So it's not a case of youngsters and inexperienced players that much anymore. They've been part of the system, and now they're going up against a guy who's just a Premier Division rugby player at his best. So I just don't see it. And again, the argument for me is, especially when your favorite is as strong as I think the favorite is, you're never really going to have an opportunity to trade. Western Province win their first game, and you're never going to see the price of, I think the best was 5-2 again in any case. So even if you get, especially the Cheetahs going into the semi-finals, you're still not really, you can take on a Sharks or someone like that later, but you still can't jump onto Province really. So to me, that's where the argument comes in. The only thing I would say is that if you back Cheetahs, then perhaps that could be a decent call, especially at the price Hendrik got. If you got a 14-1, I mean, you can't go too far wrong, and you've got a team that is supposedly going to be playing in Pro 14, so you can't be all bad. Of course, the only thing is it isn't the Harvey's Fury coach team yet. They still have Franco there, so they're trying to say goodbye to him on a high note kind of thing. So still going to have to see how that squad looks and how they perform and how they run out. But for unknown quantity, and they're supposed to go on to the next level, the 14-1 for me on the Cheetahs is perhaps the best way to go. But I really don't give Griquas or the Pumas a shot at competing against guys who've been through the Super Rugby mill.
Okay, so we got a couple of different differences of opinion now. I must say, you both make strong cases. As Hendrik says, I mean, I think if you had a big bet on a Griquas or something, I suppose you'd be looking to trade. But if you just have a fair size bet, as he says, you're not going to do too much harm. But I also agree with you, Couch. I mean, if you fancy Western Province strongly, it's pointless backing Province and then taking 25-1 Griquas, 14-1 Cheetahs and that sort of stuff. You just put your head down and you go straight for Province. And I mean, they got quite an interesting first game this weekend, which we'll get to in a moment. But let's start with Friday night's game, and it's the Sharks up against the Griquas. And look, WSB, I had a quick look now, minus 14.5 Sharks, but I see 16.5 Sharks at Sunbet. And I'm gathering, perhaps to my surprise here, Hendrik, that there seems to be money coming for the Sharks on the handicap.
Yeah, Brent, I'm also a bit surprised. I'm expecting a good Currie Cup from the Griquas. They played well in the Super Sport Challenge, winning that, and the team has been together for a few months now. I'm playing in the Super Sport Challenge. They've got a quality coach. I like Brent Jansen for Rensburg, as I've said a lot of times last year, and when he was still at the Pumas. I think he's a very good coach, and I expect him to one day be in doing Super Rugby coaching, or maybe in Europe or something. But yeah, when I saw the Sharks team, I was a bit surprised. It's better than what I expected. They've put out a quality team on paper, so that has put me off Griquas a bit. So I can understand the money for the Sharks minus, but I'm still happy to take the Griquas on the plus. It's in Durban, and there's a bit of rain predicted. I checked just now quickly again. It's less rain predicted now than what was predicted this morning when I checked the forecast. So the rain obviously won't suit Griquas. They won't know what that is. They never get that stuff. So that put me. But the quality side, I like the Griquas, and I'm happy to take the plus. And I think if you're not that strong in this game, the 1-12 market might be a good one again. Sharks by 1-12. I think the Sharks should do enough to win the game. But I think Griquas might surprise a few and make a good game of it.
Right. Let me just, Couch is giving us his views. I'll have a look and see if I can get a price on that 1 to 12. I imagine a couple of bookies might have priced up on that.
I checked that, Brent, at Sunbet at 2.35 to 1.
Okay, that's a nice price. I mean, if you do fancy, quite frankly, if you fancy Griquas on the handicap, then it is a really tempting price as well, because if they arrive on the handicap, that 1 to 12 has got every chance. So that's at 2.35 to 1, just shy of 24 to 10. Couch, what do you make of this game? Are you getting involved here? Friday night rugby. I mean, we love to bet on a Friday night. I don't have the best Friday night record though.
No, definitely we can't let this pass us by. And I mean, it's spot on what both the bookies and Henrik has been saying and thinking. Yeah, I was, regardless of what I've said about Griquas, I think they've got to hit the ground running. That's where their advantage is. They are the settled team. They got to hit them in the first 2 games. Lose the first 2 games, and then you guys can bin the 25 to 1. Then it's game over, because they are the settled team, and the other guys I think will just get stronger. So it's crucial for them, and I do think they will start strong. And I was really ready to line up that 14.5, and I actually did take a little bit, and then I saw 15, and I took a bit, and then I saw the Sharks team, and I'm jittery, and I can understand why the market has gone the other way. But again, I'm with Henrik there. I'll stick to it at this stage, but it's not as big as it probably would have been. And it's just, I mean, you look at that, it's John Schoeman. He's underrated. He's been everywhere. He knows what he's doing at Lucid. Aaron van Vieren has been brilliant. I'm super impressed with him. He's got loads of Super Rugby experience behind him now as a 22-year-old. That's fantastic. We can't teach him a thing. Decent loose trio. Cohen Bosch, he can do a few things that Griquas have never seen. Fassi has been brilliant at fullback. He can be devastating, and then we all wait to see what JP Peterson can bring to the team, and Jeremy Ward. It's just, it's not a settled team. That's the thing I'm going for, is that hopefully, there are a few little combinations that aren't going to be running smoothly. A new head coach to really take the reins. So I'm hoping there's a bit of jitteriness from the Sharks early, and I actually think if you want to take a speculative play, perhaps Griquas half-time and Sharks full-time, that might be a go. And then I'm waiting for the first half handicap. I'll probably have a little go on Griquas first half handicap as well. So those are the 3 kind of angles. So I'm expecting Griquas to start strong here, but hopefully and probably Sharks to hold out in the end. So yes, the 1 to 12 is also a runner there.
Just a quick touching on total points here, Henrik. I don't think the lines will be out yet. What sort of line do you think they're going to come out with, and what's your thoughts? High scoring or low scoring this one, given that there could be a bit of rain about?
Yeah, Brent, the rain is a bit of a factor, like you said, and also at the coast, always it's tough going overs at the coast. I've had a few bad runnings with going overs at the coast. Sharks normally have a good defensive record, but yeah, Griquas, they play an open game. So they obviously score points and they concede points. I think total points should be more than 50. It should be about 52, 53 and a half, I think. Now that, if there's rain about, I'll go unders. If it's lower than 50, I'll probably stay out of the total points and maybe, take, If there's rain, I'll obviously look at a bit of an undersplay, but I'm not confident in the points here. I've got strong reviews on the other 2 games when it comes to points, but this one I'm very uncertain.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to the other 2 games.
Brent,
we'll start with, oh, yes,
Brent, just quickly on that one, the only thing worth noting, I think you can scrap a little bit like the Super Rugby kind of thing with the humidity and those kind of things obviously coming down in winter, if you can call KZN having a winter, but
yes.
that should not be as much of a factor there. And it's also slightly more less conservative teams, and also Everett has said that this Sharks team is going to be playing ball in hand rugby, so I think it's quite evident that they're going to be trying to play a lot more running rugby. But the only caveat there is that it is the first game out, as we said, especially for the Sharks, so they could not be quite as structured and as fluent on attack quite yet.
Excellent. I think the moral there is obviously the line will be important, but also the weather watch there, just to see if there is any rain about. A good point on the humidity, that it's not as humid at this time of the year. Couch, let's start with you though on the next game. It's the Golden Lions up against the Pumas at home. I see here on Sunbet we got 9.5. I'm just going to pop across to World Sports Betting. Have a look what their line is. 10.5. Golden Lions favourite, -9.5 or -10.5. What do you think on this game?
No, Brent, it's the same thing in the write-up for the outright. I actually think the Lions are the one kind of team that you can target if either Free State or even long shot Griquas, if you guys think so. Is that they've lost quite a number of players, not so much the Springboks, but signing overseas deals. So they're quite a young inexperienced team, but it could go either way. They've introduced a couple of those guys to the Super Rugby system. Chituka, Green at fullback, those are guys that are pretty solid. Ryan Reynolds now, so they've seen what it's about. So they're going to definitely be upskilled from where they were. And Wandile Milani, even he's travelled quite a bit now. He's getting to that next level. So if they do hit the straps, then they can probably put Pumas away. But I think you have to go again. The smaller the minnows, in the first 2 rounds, you have to go in their camp. And I think the Pumas should be able to cover this cap. And I'm quite involved in the. I got plus 10.5 Pumas.
Plus 10.5 Pumas. Let's go to Henrik and see if this is one of the games he fancies a bit stronger this weekend.
Brent, I'm very strong on this game. I expect a good Currie Cup campaign from the Pumas. I think they will go very well here, and I can't have anything for the Lions. I saw that Lions team really looks very poor. It looks a weak team. They already struggled in the Super Rugby, and then they lost a lot of players. They lost a few players to the Springboks, and they lost. Last week I saw a lot of players that have lost again. So I like the Pumas very strong here. Just for me, the Pumas will win this game. I took 9-2 to the Pumas to win the game. I took the plus 11.5 at 10-11. I think the plus is a gift. You can go very big on the plus here. And then I took a very speculative bet on Pumas to win by 15 plus at 35.64 to 1. But I like the Pumas to win the game at 9-2. And then on the points here, I like the points a lot here. There will be a lot of. I think there should be more than 70 points in this game. And I'll go over some Pumas points. I'm hoping for a quote in the mid-20s. And that's a gift as well. You can go very hard. It's a 3 o'clock game at Ellis Park, perfect conditions, and Rasta is the ref.
Hey, when Henrik says it's a gift, you know that people are going to take it seriously. There's going to be plenty of money for overs, punters there. That is for sure, Henrik. Anything else from your side on this game, Catch? I must say I haven't got a firm view on it myself, not having researched the game yet. But when Henrik talks like that, I already know where my money's going, and I'm already starting to think where the newsletter bet's going next week, or tomorrow, should I say.
No, definitely. I mean, you can when you saw this one listed down there, 3 o'clock game, Joburg, Pumas, Lions. It's points that just shout points. And as Heinrich said, they haven't even been good defensively in Super Rugby, and now it's even more new combinations, and definitely not the strongest Lions team. So I'd also say it's definitely overs on points, and especially I like the Pumas points there. I think Pumas points, Pumas tries, things could get. I wouldn't say it could get ugly for the Lions, but it could really be one of those where it's one for you, one for me. So this could really be a rounders, let everyone come over kind of thing. And then if they do open up on the markets, I'm not sure whether we're actually going to get this for Currie Cup. And obviously the Lon Mop is there to up a few tries. Marnus Kuman, we know he's going to get over if there are going to be a few tries.
Right. Henrik, I just want to go back to you. What was that speculative play you took there? Pumas by 15 plus.
Yes, just over 35 to 1. So it's 15 to plus. Yeah, it's very speculative. Look, for them to win the game it will be obviously be a surprise and be a bit of a shock. But so I'm only going on price there because I saw Sunbet had them by 13 plus at 11 to 1. So I thought the Pumas by 15 plus at 35 to 1, that's a great price. And it will probably not come off, but I fancy the Pumas here, and I think anything is possible against this Lions team, so I don't want to get left out if it happens.
Well, 35 to 1, nothing wrong with that price. Just for a second, I asked you because I thought maybe Oracle was talking through you, because that, if ever I've seen an Oracle type bet, I mean, how many points were the Hagiaris going to win by last week again?
Yeah, I can't remember. What was his scores? It was like 20.
Something like that as well.
Yeah.
But I tend to have more faith. Not that I thought the Hagiaras were poor, but I think this Pumas side have got more chance of winning by a double-figure margin than the Hagiaras side last week. That's for sure. So anyway, that's a good one. I think there's going to be plenty of betting interest on that game. Saturday afternoon, I don't think I've got any plans, so looking forward to watching that one. Let's go on, though, to what I guess most would consider the game of the weekend, and that's Western Province up against the Bulls. That's taking place at Newlands. I've just got Sunbet and World Sports Betting open. We've got -5.5 Province at WSB and +7.5 Bulls at Sunbet. And Hendrik, let's start with you on this one. Any firm views?
Yeah, Brent, the Bulls team doesn't look too bad on paper. I noted a few guys on the chat like the Bulls here. But yeah, I had a good look at both teams. I had this second look at the Bulls team, and I still think Western Province has the better team here. I think at home with John Dobson, he's already proved himself. I wasn't a John Dobson fan, and I was converted last year. So he's a quality coach, and he's going to coach the Stormers next year. I think Western Province will win by more than a converted try here. So I think the minus is on Western Province is the right player. But yeah, I'm obviously not as strong as the previous game. Most of my money will be on the Pumas. But I think you should take Western Province. There should be about 6.5 available, and that gives you less than that converted try, which is crucial. And yeah, and looking at the points, it will all depend on a quote for me here. If it's in the lower 50s, I will take overs here. I think both teams will play a nice kind of game. Western Province has always played nice in the Currie Cup. They've scored a few points, and Dobson, under him, they've scored a lot of points. The defense was very good under Dobson last year. Like the defense coach was involved there. I'm not sure. Yeah, he should probably be involved again. But yeah, the team isn't settled yet, probably. So I think both teams should score a few points. Again, it's on the coast, so that's a bit of a concern. But yeah, I will have a small plan overs if the quote is in the low 50s or lower.
Excellent. Well, before we go to cut, just to look back on some of the live comments, Dino Zambetti coming on, and he says he actually likes the Bulls, even with Lebok at fly half. And he makes the point that the Bulls have got 6 Springboks back. Rudolph Smith also coming back from injury. So on that comment in the live chat, let me go over to you, Couch. What are your views on this one?
No, definitely. I looked at the squad before the team was even announced, and it's not a bad squad. I think they've got a very good starting lineup they can call on. I mean, they've got Vian Herbst doing duty in Currie Cup. I mean, that's pretty incredible. He's a very strong tight head prop to have doing duty for you, and Matan Zima did well. It's after that the issue comes in. You know, they don't really have quality backup. Jaco Visagie, it's a strong front row, but after that it's issues. They've also got Luet playing this week, so that's good for them, and a strong loose trio, Agaba and Rudolph Smith and Steenkamp and those kind of guys all in the mix, and they've stolen Vian Vosloo from the Sharks as well. So there's loads of quality there, and Lebok, I mean, we can say what we want about him. He's not going to be too bad in Currie Cup rugby. If it opens up a bit, he could be quite dangerous. So no, it's a decent side. Captain Burger Widendal, and they've Johnny Kotze and even have Sage on the bench. So again, it's guys and Speckman and Cornel Hendricks. I mean, this is pretty much a full-on Super Rugby team. So I'm worried about this first game, especially for my strong liking for Province. But I'm going to have to have faith. I think 2 years ago, I told Hendrik John Dobson is the real deal, and I really like him. He's come from UCT. I've watched him work through the age groups, and he's a real knowledgeable guy. And it took him 12 months, but he's now on our side there. So that's good news. And I think it's a core that's come a long way with John Dobson. This team, you know, Murat and those kind of guys. Dan Kriel, they've played a lot of rugby under Janu Augustus. They played a lot of rugby under Dobson. So I think they understand his mentality and where he comes from and what he wants out of a game. So I think it could be ugly, but not in a sense that it's not going to be an open game. But I think the Province team will do whatever they have to and get across the line in this opener, and then hopefully things will flow from there. So I'm a bit wary of the handicap. I think it's pretty well placed. I think it's the Province 1 to 12 for me is probably the way I'm going to be going in this one.
Right. Well, just to give Stephen Marks the last word on this game in the live chat. Bulls he reckons Bulls have the best chance to win at Newlands for the first time since 2009. He likes a back three of Speckman, Hendricks, and Rousseau. So it does seem as though we're quite divided on that game. So no doubt the newsletter bet is going to be on the Lions game, where we seem much more united on that. As I say, I don't have firm opinions, I must admit, on any of the Currie Cup games yet. having not had a chance to research. Guys, before we close off, I do want to touch on the Rugby Championship betting. Let me go straight to Henrik and ask Henrik, did you manage to grab some of the 25 to 1 or so about the Pumas winning the Rugby Championship that you announced on last week's show? And if you haven't, I mean, I see there's still 20 to 1 available.
Brent, I got some of the 25 to 1, not as much as I wanted. I made a bet with, I got some at Sporting Bet and I got some at Hollywood Bet. But yeah, obviously, they both have a limit on the market, so I couldn't get as much as I want. And yeah, I see there's actually 21 to 1 at Bet Exchange still available, so I'll take some of that as well. Yeah, I'm still happy to be on them, even after the Aguares lost the final. The Super Rugby, I still think it's a great draw for Argentina. And yeah, with the Crusaders, All Blacks not playing in the first game, they won't have a better chance of rolling the All Blacks. So yeah, I'm happy to be on them. You can't take the All Blacks at 1 to 4. There's no value in it. There's no use going for 1 to 4. And Australia and South Africa, well, I'm not sure about, especially the Aussies. I see there's 11 to 1 available on them. But yeah, I can't really have anything on the checker for them. And then South Africa, Rassie will probably play around for the World Cup and try a few combinations still. But yeah, the Argentina at the price and the draw they've got, yeah, they have to be back.
Right, Couch, let's go on to you. Did anything catch your fancy? Did you grab some of the 25 to 1 as well?
Yeah, Brent, I actually stumbled on the price last week on WSB, and after talking about it, yeah, I couldn't even find it going back there. And after hearing all of you being as confident, I wanted to go double up on that one, so I struggled. But no, I got pretty much as much as I wanted. And as Henrik pointed out, it's almost like taking 25 to 1 that they're going to win that opener. I think the opener is crucial there. New Zealand aren't taking their strongest team. You got to beat them in Argentina there, and if they do, then we in the pound seats. Then we should be good. So that's a great prize for that result. I was also surprised. I suppose as soon as we start hearing team news, things could be adjusted, but there's still the 13.5 handicap for that opener, and I mean, I'm still confident on that 13.5 points is just way too much, too lenient towards the Argentines. You got to be taking that. So I'm still, every time I'm adding a few accumulators, I'm stuffing that in there. So I'm going to be pretty big come this time next week.
Excellent. Well, let's just have a quick look there. There's the betting at World Sports Betting. New Zealand 2 to 7, South Africa 11 to 2, Australia 10 to 1, and Argentina 20 to 1. Couch, just talking about big bets, man. Am I right in saying that you guys fell just short of hitting the Warner top run scorer bet in the World Cup? Because he said, I saw something you posted on the WhatsApp today, like he fell 1 run short or something like that.
Yeah, Brent, I think I had like one of those vouchers that I had on him at 14 to 1, and pre-tournament, like the 2 months before the tournament, I was rolling him into any multiple that I was doing because I thought 14 and 1. He was killing it in the IPL, and I thought 14 to 1 is just too big. And after halfway through, I was looking pretty good, and then Rowett came and he hit everything out the park, and I thought this is a bet gone. And I took a little bit of cover, but I mean for like 10% of what I could have gotten, maybe 20. And then Rowett went out for 1 on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever he ended up batting. And then this morning, I actually made the worst mistake ever. Told everyone at work, listen, you wouldn't believe me. I need Warner to just get 10 runs today. I'm in the pound seats. And lo and behold, he's out for 9.
Can you believe it? Stiff on that one. One, Couch. Couch, to end off the show, what is your best bet of the weekend?
No, it's definitely I'm sticking to the other Pumas. The South Americans are next week. This week we're keeping the theme. Since Oracle isn't here, we'll be almost as bullish. I see Henrik is just as bullish pretty much on these Pumas. I'm almost as bullish, but I definitely think they are worth a nibble on the outright for the win there. The Lions definitely, I think you have to take them on early doors here. A little bit on the outright, and as you said, that handicap that's beautiful. And I'm actually taking a few extended handicaps. Some have already gotten like a few extended handicaps out there that I'll roll into a few multiples wherever I can get them into, whatever I can get them.
Great. Well, before we go to Henrik's best bet, Ruan just confirming that the Western Province 1 to 12 bet is 18 to 10 at Sunbet. And Henrik, I must tell you, this Pumas Lions game does bring back memories for me, because a few years ago on the Good for the Game forum, I started off with 1,000 Rand, and I was going to double it just by backing short price winners. And I was taking like Andy Murray in the tennis in the US Open at like 1 to 50. And I went up and I got within one bet, and all I needed was the Lions, who were like 23-point favorites against the Pumas, to beat the Pumas. And of course, what happened? The Pumas rolled them at Ellis Park. So yeah, certainly must have a chance. I don't think I have to. Well, I suppose the only thing I got to ask you is, what is your best bet going to be, the handicap or the Pumas points?
Well, Brent, I remember that buying money thread of you very well. I followed that closely, and I remember the Lions getting rolled there. The best bet is definitely going to be the Pumas overs. I think it should be about 23 to 25.5 points for the overs. I see them scoring close to 40 points in this game. But yeah, so that's the points are going to be my best bet. But looking at the handicaps and the outrights, I'm not going to take the plus 11.5 Pumas. The best bet is the Pumas to win the game at 9 to 2.
Excellent, guys. Thanks very much. I'm going to follow on your bets. I've got to tell you that one thing I'll bet on is that whenever that opening points line comes in on the Pumas, it's going to move. I've got absolutely no doubt about that. A great weekend of sport ahead. I'll be continuing to preview all the Tour de France stages on YouTube. I'll probably have to hope we got power tomorrow morning to do that one, or go somewhere to do it early. I think it's a sprint stage tomorrow, but previewing all of those. And we'll also have a use it or lose it on Monday night. We'll probably start looking ahead to the World Cup in our rugby betting show, not rugby betting show, in our rugby magazine show at 9 o'clock on a Monday night. Guys, thanks very much for joining us. Henrik, have a good punting weekend, and same to you, Coach.
Cheers, guys, and enjoy the weekend.
Excellent, man, and thanks very much to the guys in the live chat. Been a good show, quite a quiet one, in terms of actual rugby games, but it's going to start picking up now. We're going to have the Currie Cup and the Rugby Championship together. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so below this video, and we've also put a couple of useful links for you. Have a good punting weekend, and get in, you Pumas.